Hey, Alex, I'm just curious. You've had a few days to process that game the other day, what you thought, and do you feel like you are playing more comfortable in this offense?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think looking back on it, a number of plays that that we didn't make or left out there, or errors that really swung that game. Certainly, plenty of chances to win it, especially early in that first half, that we really let get away. 4 trips down, basically into the red zone, and only scoring 3 points. So a little bit frustrating in that sense. Also, obviously, pumped the way we came out in the second half and on offense and played and really fought back. Same thing though with all that, still some missed opportunities out there. I think encouraging though, a lot of things to build off of, a lot of things to grow. We're so young, so many young guys playing. So that is encouraging. Yeah, for me, it's the most comfortable I've felt. And it has been a steady progression, all the way forward, going back to camp, all the steps I feel like I've taken, and Sunday being another one with starting. So I think same thing though, definitely a lot to build off from myself and get better at. And excited obviously for this week to do that, new challenge, but hopefully take another step.
And then Ron said the other day that what you proved to him is that you're back as a player. Do you feel that? Do you feel like you're back to where you were before all this happened?
Yeah, my the other 2 appearances coming off the bench and in different circumstances, being down in both of them, and not a complete game. Having the preparation all week to go out there and then to play obviously the whole game. Yeah, and look at it and really be critical of myself. Really felt like, yeah, I kind of checked another box that yeah, I'm capable of playing, winning football in this league. It's a matter of doing that consistently though, and like I said, still plenty to build off of and grow. But yeah, for me, definitely another level of comfort there, knowing that what I am capable of. I felt really, really good out there in all those situations that come up over the course of a game. So yeah, excited, like I said, moving forward here to this next week and the challenge that it brings.
It seems like since the comeback and the documentary and all that, you've got a lot of fans outside of the football world as well. People who are in for your story, to be doctors or military people. That I'm just wondering what it's been like to have that support from kind of all over.
It's obviously not something I'm thinking a ton about at this moment in the middle of the season. We're so locked in, and rightfully so. But it is something, yeah, that is humbling. I know. For so long when I was stuck in the hospital bed or stuck in a wheelchair, I watched a lot of videos, countless hours of watching servicemen and women down at the Center for the Intrepid do workouts that hopefully I was going to be able to do one day. I spent a long time looking up, Jalen Smith and the brace that he wore and and how he did it. And so there were definitely people that provided that same inspiration for me. When I was going through it. So yeah, you hope to pass that on, and if so, that's obviously a great thing. And like I said, humbled by it.
We've heard guys like Isaiah Wright talk about how you help them in the huddle and you influence them and you kind of calm them down in tense moments. Have you always been that way, or do you feel like you need to do that extra since this is such a young group of an inexperienced group of receivers you're playing with right now?
No, I mean, maybe a little bit of both. I think you're always trying to do that as a quarterback, and I think the more you can keep those big moments, those big situations, I think the more you can keep the focus on the football and the details and not get kind of hijacked or distracted by the situation, the better. And so I think that's obviously even things I try to practice myself and tell myself. But most definitely, I think having been through a lot of situations, there is more comfort as an older guy. So yeah, you try to help those young guys out and keep it about football and the details of us going out there and executing.
Nikki, you're up next. Alex, I know a lot of factors are at play in the first half and everything, the full game, but especially with the slower starts. In your mind, what do you think is the key to kind of getting over that hump and getting off to a faster start for the offense?
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful to say like a slow start because I really felt like we came out and I mean I know we had the one drive we didn't do any we had 3 and out, but the rest of those drives we moved field position, we got down in positions to score. Really, I think every drive was different in the sense of how we didn't finish it off. But if you looked at the time of possession, if you looked at the yardage totals, the first downs, the third down, I mean, we came out and executed. Certainly, we had some lapses in key and critical moments that really only allowed us to score 3 points. But I distinctly, going in halftime and even there, obviously when we came out and they scored, thinking that we'd played pretty good on offense and we're down, I think at that point 24-3. So sometimes that happens, and I think it's a great lesson to how important situational football is, how important those you get down in the red zone, some of those key third downs, taking the sack on that first third down was critical error and cost us points, and how important that stuff is because the margins are so small in this league. So I didn't feel like we started slow, though, to answer your question. I mean, I really did feel like we came out and we're moving it and we're dialed in. The difference in the second half clearly being that we finished those off and found a way to get the ball in the end zone.
And when there's a change at left tackle, right tackle, do you have to adjust at all? Like, how much does that affect you in game?
I mean, when the ball snapped, you're playing. It is, something there on the fly, especially that last series, knowing Morgan's moving over and we're adjusting on the fly. I mean, if anything, you're always conscious of trying to be mindful of where you are in the pocket and depth and things like that to help all your linemen. But no, you're really just playing. And those guys, obviously, a credit to them and the guys up front and what a job they did.
Harris.
Oh, hey, Alex. Just curious, with this being the actual 2-year anniversary since your injury, I mean, do you take a moment to recognize it? Do you do anything with your family later? What's kind of that process like?
Well, I mean, luckily, been here with football all day. Very aware that it was 2 years to today, of the break. I think, just you take a moment when you do is to certainly appreciate everything about where we are, certainly as a family, how lucky we are. Grateful for so many things. Certainly, obviously, to be in this position again, I didn't think was ever possible for a long time. So grateful for that, along with a lot of other stuff. So, I think you do take a moment, and it is a good reminder to look around and how lucky we are, how lucky I am.
And then, is there anyone from kind of, Michael asked about the support that you've received from the outside. Is there anyone that really resonated with you, or like I know former President Obama tweeted you out? Is there anyone that really kind of caught your eye, like, wow, they're paying attention?
Certainly, it's tough to get any bigger than the former president. And obviously that was humbling again. I don't know. I try not to think about a lot of that stuff. I really just trying to keep my head down, and that's kind of been my mindset throughout this entire process. And just really focused on the next step. Like I said, though, there were so many people that I drew inspiration from, so that if you were ever able to pass that forward, obviously I would love to.
Hey, Alex, just kind of following up on the 2-year anniversary theme. I'm just curious because I asked Ron and Scott, but they obviously weren't here. Yeah. So I'll ask you.
Russell, you're muted.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm horrible at this. I asked Ron and Scott how, you have improved as a quarterback since the injury, but obviously they weren't here, just looking from afar. So is there any tangible way that you feel you've improved, either zip, accuracy, ball location, comfortability in a system, anything like that?
Well, I think, I think you're always trying to get better at everything. I don't think that ever stops as a quarterback. I definitely think I've as I've gone through different phases of trying to get back, certainly you bring up a great point. I've tried to certainly hear feedback from, especially people that were around me a lot pre-injury, and what do they see? It was crazy that my first playing time, Kevin O'Connell was on the other sideline. My next playing time, Colt McCoy was on the other sideline. And then even this last week, Chase Daniel, who I was with for 3 years. So all those guys, I did make a point to find at some point or text and just try to get some critical feedback. For me, obviously, people that were around me a lot before the injury. And for me, I'm so, I think anytime you're a little self-conscious or even maybe you overanalyze a lot of things. So I appreciate that feedback from, that point of view. So that other set of eyes. But yeah, I think at this point, like I said, I felt really comfortable out there Sunday, going about and executing the offense, and that's what your role is as a quarterback, and obviously to go out there and execute one play at a time. And so I didn't feel hindered in that in any way. And so certainly trying to get better in all areas, at this point.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex, you've been playing football for a long time. First time with back-to-back 300-yard passing games. Threw for 55 passes last week. Obviously, you had things working, but you understand maybe the importance of balance. Do you ever notice in a game like that, like, wow, I've been throwing the ball a ton, or how do you try to keep those things in mind?
No, I mean, I knew the way the game went a little bit that we were same thing. You dig yourself a little bit of hole. You're going to be in a game like that. And there's a lot of statistics that people, try to correlate to wins and losses. And there's a lot of ways to win football games. I think the biggest thing that if you are throwing the football, you're efficient, completions, obviously that you're spreading the ball around, making plays, I think is important, certainly. And luckily we were able to do that for most of the game. I thought that we were efficient in the pass game, a high completion percentage, especially until that final drive. And, clipping off a decent margin per attempt. So I think anytime you can be efficient, run or pass, that is important. And you don't always know the way the game's going to go. And I think that was a great, it's a sign of that this last Sunday. That's the way it went. I felt like we were keeping good balance, but anytime you're getting down 3 scores, you obviously are going to be a little bit one-dimensional.
Take 3 more.
Right. When you finally got to the box score, were you like 390? Oh my God.
Yeah, I had no idea. No idea about any of that stuff until after the game, which is great. You don't like when you're playing a game, you want to be in it all the way. You certainly don't want to be thinking about any of your stats. So, yeah, I mean, I knew we were spreading it around, and I felt good in the pass game that we were making plays. Just obviously, I had no idea of the yardage.
Thanks, man.
2 more.
Hey, Alex, we've talked a lot about how you've helped the younger receivers here. I'm just curious, how do you feel like, if at all, the younger cast around you has helped you in any way, shape, and form this season from, training camp on to this point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, besides going out there and making plays, when you're throwing it to them, that's obviously the first and foremost. But no, I think we have such a great group in this entire team in the locker room. But certainly I feel like the young guys at the skill positions on offense bring such great energy every single day. These guys love football. They got a smile on their face. They love getting out there and making plays. They want the ball. I think all that is infectious energy. And as a young guy, it's, I feel lucky to be around them. It does rub off. And so I'm having a lot of fun, with that. And I think that is a strength, that youth, that energy. And so, yeah, just obviously, you go out there and enjoy your part in it and going out there and distributing the football.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex, I know you guys were moving the ball in the first half, and you said that the passing game didn't change too much in the second half. But the last 2 weeks, when you guys have been maybe a little more predictable or pass heavy, you guys have still been effective. I wonder what you think that the key to that has been, even though you might be throwing, a lot more.
Yep. Yeah, I think first off, that starts up front. I mean, anytime you get in these, one-dimensional situations, it's tough on those guys up front. And I think really a credit to them and to throw the ball. I mean, they have 55 attempts. And I think there were only 2 sacks, one really for a yard. So I think it starts with those guys up front. They're in a tough situation, and to play the way they've been playing really is a credit to them. And then the guys outside, it's the details. Passing game is so much about the details and timing. And I think all these guys having a great understanding of how we all fit into that, and that together, if we're doing our job right, that somebody's going to be making a play.